me here again. So February is the month of Library Lovers Day, which is February the 14th. Some of you may also know it as Valentine's Day. But basically we're in the month of romance and month of love, so I thought I'd bring you some of my favourite romantic reads of YA fiction. So pretty much any YA book is going to have some aspect of romance in it, but these books are pure romance, so no vampires, no werewolves, no dystopian futures. These books that I'm recommending today are just your pure romance. So to kick it all off, I'm going to begin with Simone Elkins and her book Wildcards. If you're a regular on the blog, you will have heard that name before. I have blogged about her Perfect Chemistry series, which is also romance, but want to introduce you to her new one, Wildcards, because this one actually really surprised me. So basically you've got Derek, who is your bad boy in this book. He lost his mum about, I think it's a year or 18 months ago. She passed away. Dad's in the Navy, so he's away a lot, and he's recently remarried a much younger woman who also has a young son. So he has been in boarding school, but he has been kicked out for misbehaviour, and now he has to go live with his stepmom, because Dad is away in the Navy, and the stepmother has decided, because her husband is away, she wants to reconnect with her family, so she's going back home to reconnect with them, and Derek has to go with her. Then on our female protagonist in this one is Ashton. She is a typical female protagonist. She's lives with her father. Her mother did a runner when she was young, and the relationship with Dad is not good. She's got a boyfriend, but that relationship is starting to go downhill. The only positive in her life is the desire for her to take her school football team to the national championships. Anyway, so these two characters come together and clash, and there's some flirting and some arguing and typical teen angst romance. But what I love about this one is that Elkins really managed to surprise me. So first off, I'm going to spoil it a little bit, but this is something that comes out in the first chapter of the book. Is when I say Ashton is to lead her football team to the championships, I don't mean she's going to cheer for them. She is actually a football player, and she gets voted the captain of the football team, which causes problems with the boyfriend who wanted to be the captain of the football team. So that's a nice little twist to that character, and it definitely has an impact on who she is and separates her from your traditional female romantic lead. Derek is not your typical bad boy. He's just a boy who's lost his mum and dad's far away, and he's been thrown into this new family situation which is not comfortable for him. So he's not bad, he's sweet and broken, and we love that in a male romantic protagonist. And the great twist about this book is how these two characters meet and how their lives become intertwined, but I'm not going to spoil that one, even though you'll find out by the end of chapter 2. So that's Simone Elkins, Wildcard. Check out any of her other books because she is a prolific romantic writer. Book off the ranks is Elizabeth Scott. Like Simone Elkins, she is a prolific romance writer for YA. This is just one of her many books. It's called Something Maybe, and it revolves around the character of Hannah, who has a lot of things going on in her life. Her dad is a Hugh Hefner style guy, which you can imagine causes a lot of problems. He's very public and obviously into younger girls, which does not make life easy for Hannah. Her mum was just one of the many girls on his belt. So there's lots of conflict and stuff she deals with on that end, and obviously going to school with a father like that is not easy. She is in love with Josh, who she thinks is her soulmate, and she's slowly over time with this book starting to get closer to him. But then there's also the curveball in the story, which is the character of Finn, who is her new co-worker, and he throws a spanner into her plans as she starts to develop a relationship with him and feelings with him, but also with Josh. So on top of all that and her family problems, their school, and dealing with the media and the attention of who her father is. So it's a nice little romantic read. She's got a couple other books of Elkin. She's written Bloom, which is a really nice one, and Stealing Heaven is also another one I like of hers, so give her a read. They're in the library. One of my favourite romance authors is Gayle Forman. This series is her second. It's called Just One Day and Just One Year. And basically these two books revolve around the characters of Willem and Alison, who meet in London, I believe, and they get on a train together and spend one wild romantic day in Paris, at which the end of they don't see each other. They get separated, and for the next year they both deal with the consequences of what that one day meant and how it affected them and how it changed them. So we follow Alison's story in Just One Day and Willem's story in Just One Year. I think I love this because I'm a traveller. I've been overseas, so Gayle is very good at describing her scenery and making you really feel like you're there. So if you want to travel or you have travelled, great books to read. And the romance it's not cliche at any point, apart from the whole, you know, love at first sight sort of thing, but it's a nice romance read, so give it a go. Just One Day and Just One Year. The Sky is Everywhere by Jandy Nelson, follows the story of Lenny Walker, who has recently lost her sister. She passed away, and she and her sister were very close because Mum abandoned them as kids and Grandma raised them. So she is dealing with your typical I've lost my sister pain and anguish. On top of that, she starts to develop emotional feelings towards her sister's ex-boyfriend. Not ex-boyfriend, he was her boyfriend when she died. And there's also a new boy who comes into her life that she sort of has to deal with the effect he has on her as well. It's a little disturbing because, you know, she kisses her sister's boyfriend, and then she's got her own boyfriend going on, and it's all a little very angsty, turmoil-y teen romance, but it plays out really well, and it goes beyond just being a love story between a girl and a boy. It also is a bit of a love story between two sisters who pretty much were all each other had. So that's The Sky is Everywhere by Jandy Nelson, and I do believe it's coming out as a movie at some point. So finally, Before I Die by Jenny Downham. Tessa Scott, basically she's had cancer for most of her life, and she's basically at the end of it. She's 17 and there's nothing more they can do. She is going to die. So Tessa sets out to live an entire lifetime in the short months that she has left, and this involves a list of many things, including thievery, getting drunk, getting high, and unexpectedly also falling in love. So it is a sad story, but it's beautiful as well because she ends up living that lifetime in those short few months she does have left, and unfortunately, yes, she does die, but very emotional, touching love story, and how much we should value what we have in our lives and the people we have in our lives. So that's Before I Die by Jenny Downham. So that's it, guys. Those are some of my romantic reads for you. If you have any of your own, please feel free to let me know in the comments. Otherwise, have a happy Library Lovers Day, Valentine's Day, and I will see you guys next month in March. Ciao!